Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. The deputy leader of the highly esteemed Arataki Gang has finally arrived as a playable character. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at how Kuki, our favorite cookie, Kuki Shinobu is. I don't know about you guys, but my second favorite type of cookie is a chocolate chip cookie with toffee. But my favorite cookie is undoubtedly a cookie of the Shinobu variety. Unbearably sweet puns aside, let's see the many flavors that cookie comes in. We'll be sampling a support cookie, a damage cookie, a healing cookie, an overloaded cookie, and even a nuclear cookie. And after so many cookie flavors that you'd end up with type 2 diabetes, I'll showcase what you can do with a cookie on your team. And finally, at the end, I'll be providing my brutally honest opinion that might just be a little bittersweet. Starting off with what is likely going to be her Kuki Cutter build. Support Cookie. Her weapon is fairly inconsequential for this build, but I have her using the Ironsting. For her artifacts, she is rocking the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith with an HP % timepiece, an HP % goblet, and a healing % circlet. Let's start off by taking a look at her insanely powerful basic attacks. Despite having one of the sweetest normal attacks in the game, her normal attacks are rather tragic, having nothing in her kit that provides any bonuses to her normal attacks. These are sadly going to hit like a wet cookie. Up next in the cookie jar, we have an elemental skill cookie, the Sanctifying Ring. This is the most important ingredient for Cookie's kit. It removes 30% of her current health and provides healing every tick, which occurs every 1.5 seconds. It's important to note that when you cast it, unlike many other healers, it does not provide an immediate bit of healing, so that way you can, I guess, easily keep Cookie's health under 50% HP. We can see here that it's ticking for 3,654 healing per tick, and the damage is tragically low. It's been a while since we've seen such low damage numbers. In this next clip, now that Kuki is half-eaten and is at under 50% HP, the healing went up to 4,057 per tick, thanks to her passive. And in total, it ticks 8 times. So if you're healing other characters on your team while Kuki is under 50% HP, this can heal for a total of 32,456 HP, which is a rather respectable amount of healing. Also very importantly, it can basically have 100% uptime on the Tenacity of the Millilith buff. And finally, it has standard ICD, which means that it applies Electro to an enemy every other tick. The next cookie in the cookie jar is her Elemental Burst, Gyoye Narukumi Kariyama Right. The damage on this thing scales off her HP. In this first clip, she is above 50% HP and it hits just 7 times, dealing a grand total of 9,917 damage. In this second clip where Kuki is over half-eaten, it lasts much longer and hits 13 times, which is nearly double the amount of hits. And finally, her Elemental Burst appears to have the standard ICD since it triggered overloaded 5 times or once every 3 hits, during her longer Elemental Burst when of course she is more than half-eaten. So now that we've seen Kuki's Cookie Cutter support build in action, let's take a look at some more exotic cookie flavors, with the first one being an HP scaling burst damage focused build. My goal here is to see if we can get Cookie's burst to hit reasonably hard. Unfortunately, even despite my rather good artifacts, her entire burst basically tickled our favorite plant friend. Frankly, it doesn't look like it's worth building Kuki for her Electro Burst damage. Let's try an Elemental Mastery cookie next. From earlier, we can see that Kuki appears to be fairly adept at proccing Overloaded. With a bunch of Elemental Mastery artifacts and Sucrose for some Elemental Mastery sharing and Pyro Resistance Shred, Kuki is hitting a bunch of overloadeds for about 21,857 damage each. While unfortunately this setup isn't all that pragmatic and required an entire team to achieve, it's nice to see Kuki doing something that resembles non-negligible damage with this build. But we're not done yet with our Kuki flavors yet. Next, let's try pushing her healing to the limit by using Chi-Chi's passive, Diona's Constellation 6, Yelan's Constellation 4, healing bonus food, 2-piece Maidens plus 2-piece Ocean Hue Clam, and finally a Refinement 5 Jade Cutter, as well as the 4-piece Maidens on another character. We're able to see an 8,381 healing tick from Kuki's elemental skill. This changes everything. And if it were possible to get 8 entire ticks of this insane amount of healing, Kuki would be able to heal for a total of 67,048 hit points. Although obviously not practical or even useful in the slightest, I still found this interesting enough to demonstrate. And the last, most dangerous Kuki is a nuclear Kuki. Our goal here is to get the biggest electro nuke with this Constellation 0 Kuki that we can. I've given her and her team all my whale gear.
That's a lot of damage!
Her highest multiplier in her entire kit is the first hit of her elemental skill, which did an astronomically sweet 58,912 damage. A truly crummy performance.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright, I'm getting a toothache from all these sweet cookie puns, so no more cookies for the sake of all her sanity. Let's actually see if she's good in a full team. Sadly, unlike most of the other Constellation 0 showcases where I showcase a character doing a bunch of damage, this one I'll be demonstrating Kuki as a relatively low impact but useful support character for the most obvious character for her to currently support, Eula, swinging around a giant free fish. But warning, before progressing, please know that my characters are all at Constellation 6, except for Kuki of course, who is at Constellation 0. Your characters are very unlikely to perform as well as mine, but the objective here is to demonstrate a very useful role that Kuki fulfills, which is a tenacity, superconduct support, and healer for Eula. Please stay for my closing statements at the end where I provide my final opinions and recommendations when it comes to Kuki Shinobu. Anyway, let's take a look at what she's able to provide for this Eula team. As we can see in 12.1.1, Kuki is effortlessly providing superconduct support and easily maintaining the tenacity of the Millilith buff. This allows Eula to focus on doing Eula things, which is to blow everything up into smithereens. Kuki takes very little screen time to use her elemental skill while providing electro application, healing, and the tenacity buff. Another nice thing about Kuki's elemental skill is that it follows your character, so you're not limited to a Bennett or Lisa circle. This is a very nice quality of life for a physical cryo DPS character, which is pretty much just Eula right now. Another advantage that Kuki provides is that she consolidates healer, electro applier, and tenacity user all in one. Eula teams are missing a character that compresses all three of these roles and generally had to split these responsibilities between multiple teammates. But thanks to this role consolidation, it's very easy to slot a Constellation 6 Rosaria with Eula instead of, for example, running Diona over Rosaria. And this leaves a very flexible fourth slot as needed. For this video, I decided to run with Zhongli, and as we can see, this team is having no difficulty wrecking 12-2-1. But again, my Eula is at Constellation 6, which helps a ton. But free-to-play Eulas will appreciate all the role compression that Kuki provides. Last is 12.3.1, and well, it's trivial for Eula to blow up literally baby Geovishap things, but I will point out that Kuki takes minimal time to apply her Electro and doesn't need her burst to do it. In the end, we have no more baby Vishaps. So there you go, a sickening amount of cookies. Now, what do I think about Kuki? Unfortunately, I think she's a rather low impact character. Kuki doesn't provide huge heals like some of the other healers, she doesn't do much damage, and she doesn't buff your team outside of artifact buffs. Her off-field electro application and damage are low in comparison to characters like Fischl, Beidou, and Yae Miko. Perhaps in the future, there might be something that will strengthen fast electro applying characters, so Kuki can make full use of the tons of electro hits on her burst. But as of today, In my opinion, her main role is keeping the Arataki Gang out of trouble. Now, if you do need an electro healer, then Kuki is basically the only option outside of prototype Amber Lisa. Maybe if you want someone to apply more electro while also healing consistently, she can be used in an electro charge team. Or perhaps you want the role consolidation for a tenacity user, healer, and electro for superconduct for a Eula team. In the end, what you do with your cookies is entirely your business. But my opinion is that Kuki's time is simply not here yet. And outside of some specific role consolidation niches, Kuki is currently a low impact character. That doesn't mean that she's not good, because she does provide effortless healing with the tap of a button, and she will make your overworld healing experience very, very comfortable. Very similar to what Barbara does. But unfortunately, she does suffer from the #1 problem that all healers face, which is the fact that Bennett exists. Also, I regularly make Genshin Impact videos ranging from Caesar showcases, DPS showdowns, guide videos, and more. So be sure to smash the subscribe button, as it's the best and easiest way for you to support my work. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.